Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we have a lot of topics to get into to end the week out, including a new remake of a classic game, and could we have Battle Royale mode coming to Halo Infinite, and are we going to be seeing a Shenmue 4? We have those topics and a whole lot more, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. So when I'm working on a video, I tend to have a cutoff point that once I start making it, I don't really check any of the news or anything until I'm done. So of course, as soon as I finish the video that I made for yesterday, this comes up. This from Remedy Entertainment. We are pleased to announce that we will remake the iconic Max Payne and Max Payne 2, The Fallout of Max Payne, in a new development agreement with Rockstar Games. So on the announcement page from Remedy Entertainment, they do say that they just signed the development agreement today, which would have been on April 6th. So we may be 3 or 4 years out from seeing this, and this does say this is a remake. This isn't a remaster or say an HD remaster. So I'm wondering, will this get kind of the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment where they just roll both these stories into one and create sort of a new story out of it and maybe some new gameplay? Now they go on to say that this will be coming out for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series systems, and PC, and they'll be using the proprietary Northlight game engine. And while the game development is being done by Remedy Entertainment, it is going to be funded by Rockstar. So perhaps this might be a good game to pick up maybe when the PlayStation 5 Pro is even out, because it'll be a little while. Next, it looks like we may be seeing a Battle Royale type mode coming to Halo Infinite. This coming to us from Games Radar. Twitter user Halo Infinite Leaks and News shared a series of screenshots that showed a new game mode called BTB, Last Spartan Standing. The same tweet also featured a supposed description of the new mode, which reads, "Every Spartan for themselves, level up your loadout by earning personal score to be the last Spartan standing." According to a follow-up tweet from the same account, this new mode can be seen, quote, in offline mode. So I know Halo Infinite has kind of seen sort of a slump in its usage since it was first released. A lot of people complaining that there's not been a whole lot of new content added. So something like this might be helpful in getting people back into playing this game online. Next, in what I see as a bizarre announcement, Lego and Epic Games are looking at making a metaverse for children. This coming from VGC, Lego and Epic Games are teaming up to make the metaverse safe for children. The long-term partnership will create an online space where children can safely play. Now right now there's not any details exactly of what this metaverse means. There's not really a definition of metaverse. Most people kind of think of just this online environment that everybody can interact in, but that may not necessarily be the case. I'm thinking with children you would have to have a lot more of a restraint there. And would this metaverse be something where children could learn? I kind of have my reservations about anything like this that's geared toward children, because most of these type of things are usually ad funded, and at least in the United States, and I'm sure other countries have similar laws, the COPPA law, which is Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, prevents companies from doing targeted ads to kids that are under the age of 13. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what this ends up being. Again, this may be something that's 3 or 4 years down the road. And in another interesting article from VGC, a new archives port of Pac-Man has replaced Miss Pac-Man with a new character, likely due to an ongoing dispute over royalty rights. So you can see the tweet here where they're showing the comparison of the original version of Pac-Man compared to the version in the arcade archives that came out for the Switch this week. And both Miss Pac-Man and Baby Pac-Man have been changed. Now I believe Miss Pac-Man is now called Pac-Mom. So all of this goes back to a long history of the licensing for Miss Pac-Man. So the short of it is Midway released Pac-Man in North America. They wanted Namco to produce a sequel, and when they didn't, they agreed with another company to buy a game called Crazy Otto. It was then that Midway and Namco worked together to create Miss Pac-Man out of that game. So in all the craziness with 3 companies involved here, there's still some ambiguity about who actually owns the license for Miss Pac-Man. So rather than putting Miss Pac-Man in the game, they just replaced her. Apparently this replacement is also going to happen in the Pac-Man Museum Plus that comes out in May. And for just a closer look here, you can see on the left you have Pac-Mom, and then on the right you have the original Miss Pac-Man. So they changed out the shoes, changed the colors of the gloves, and then changed the bow to a hat. Now Baby Pac-Man has also changed, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it had to do something with the palette change, but I'm not sure what the history on the legality of that might be. If you happen to know, leave a comment and let me know. Next, we have another Nintendo 64 game added to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. You can see the announcement from Nintendo: get in the swing, tee off with Mario and friends when Mario Golf comes to Nintendo Switch for Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack members on April 15th. Now, if you haven't played Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64, this is a good chance to try it out. This was IGN's number 12 game of the top Nintendo 64 games of all time, and this is the 14th Nintendo 64 game added to this service. And Nintendo keeps giving us these regular releases of games to the service, so I do wonder how long they're going to keep it at the current price rate. Right now at $50 a year, this could be seen as quite a steal, but I do wonder how many people would just prefer just to buy the games and own them digitally instead of having to subscribe to this service. But if you've ever played Mario Golf for the Nintendo 64, let me know if you think this is a good addition to the service. Next, we have another game leak, this time from Square Enix. Square Enix filed a trademark for Tactics Ogre Reborn on March 31st in Japan, which was made public today. So if you're not familiar with the Ogre Battle series, it's a series of strategy RPG games. You can see the list that I had here of the previous ones in the series. And as of right now, this is not officially announced, but it's definitely looking like it's going to happen, because if you remember the Nvidia leak that happened back last year, there were several games in that leak that were listed, and an Ogre Battle game was one of them listed. And another game that was leaked out on that list was the Chrono Cross remaster that just came out this week. But on the original leak, it was saying that it was a Tactics Ogre remaster. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a new game, or maybe it's a remaster or some type of compilation. I'm leaning more to this may be a compilation remaster of the previous games, just by the fact that it's subtitled Reborn. But hopefully we'll get some official information from Square Enix sometime soon. Next, could we be seeing a tease for Shenmue 4? Now I will admit I'm a huge Shenmue fan. I loved the series when it originally came out, and 3 was pretty good, but I thought it could be so much more than what it was. If you look at it, it really was kind of an independent game. See, Sega was not involved in the creation of Shenmue 3. It was funded by Sony and crowdfunded, and then I think at the very end of it, Deep Silver helped pitch in. Now, for a little backstory before we lead up to this tease for Shenmue 4, 110 Industries had a presentation at Tokyo Game Show last year, and at that presentation, the Shenmue series creator Yu Suzuki appeared, and most people didn't seem to think a whole lot about it at the time, because Yu Suzuki's company, YesNet, really hasn't had any association with 110 Industries. However, there was an Instagram post from 110 Industries, and it was referring to a different game, and in the comments someone posted, "You guys hook up Yu Suzuki and get Shenmue 4 made. This gives me Shenmue vibes." And the official 110 Industries account responds back with, "Guess why he was at our TGS stream." Now, this could just be somebody who manages their social media account, not really knowing what's going on and just trying to be funny. But this has definitely created a lot of buzz for people who are hoping for a Shenmue 4. And the Shenmue anime series going well. In fact, I think it's one of the top rated shows, even beating out Attack on Titan right now. And I'm hoping at the end of the anime series that we get an announcement for a sequel. And then finally, let's take a look at the Famitsu sales for last week. So you can see here that 9 out of the top 10 are all from the Nintendo Switch, with Kirby and the Forgotten Land taking the top spot again. And except for Elden Ring coming in at number 5 for the PS4, and Pokemon Legends Arceus kind of falls in the same category, the rest of these are all what you would call evergreen titles for the Switch. And as we go down this list, you can see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out in 2017, Minecraft came out in 2018, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in 2018, Mario Party Superstars came out in 2021, and then The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in 2017, Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2020, and then Ring Fit Adventure in 2019. I imagine this is going to change over the coming year, as we've got a lot of big titles coming out the rest of the year, but for right now there just isn't a whole lot creating a whole lot of buzz. And let's take a look at the hardware sales. This is pretty much what we saw last week, with the PS5 coming in second, kind of sandwiched in there between the Switch family of systems. But we do have the Xbox Series X beating out the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, and then you have the Xbox Series S, and then at the end you probably have people replacing their dead systems. I do believe that the PlayStation 5 sales are really hampered by manufacturing. I know at least in the US it's still pretty difficult to find a PlayStation 5. However, the Xbox Series X is getting easier to locate, and I'll be curious what the sales for the first quarter will be for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series systems, because it does seem like the Xbox Series X seems to be coming up more often than the PlayStation 5, which does make me believe that Microsoft is shipping more of those units to North America and probably the European regions as well. Since the Xbox One didn't do really well in Japan, maybe this is going to be Microsoft's focus, is to try to get as many units out to other regions. But let me know what you think. Have you heard or have any contact with anybody in Japan to know whether or not it's easy to find an Xbox Series X or not? And that's all we have for today's video. There was a lot to cover to end the week out. Let me know what caught your attention. Are you looking forward to a Max Payne remake, and do you think they'll compile the 2 games into one big story? And do you think a Battle Royale mode for Halo Infinite is what it needs to revive its online play? Let me know about that or any of the other topics we covered today. I want to thank you for watching, have a great weekend, and be good.